Now we have to load the family into a project, but before, let's open the view called Front. This view shows a special object called level. A level is a kind of reference plane, but it is a special kind of reference plane. Any object in a three-dimensional model space is always bound to a certain level. Those levels that we notice in the family editor are rather conditional objects. We need them to understand how the family is going to behave in the project space. The levels always have an elevation mark. We can see that this level is marked as 0. It's from this level mark that we measure off the parameters of the extrusion object, extrusion start and extrusion end. The extrusion start parameter value coincides with the level elevation mark. Therefore, the lower face of our rectangular parallelepiped is also on this level. Besides that, the Properties panel shows us that the level is the work plane of our object. Another interesting point is that the floor plan and the ceiling plan have the same name as the level. It is because such views are based on levels and always associated with them. If we select the floor plan, we will see in its properties the special parameter called associated level. By default, a level-based view has the same name as the proper level. To a certain extent, we can equate the level with the floor of a building. In other words, we can say that, while locating in the project, our family will be placed on the floors of the building by default. Now that we are aware of this, let's load the family into the project. I'll shut down the front view and create a new project. To do this, I'll click on File, then New, and then Project. The New Project window will pop up. Here we need to choose the project template file. As well as family templates, a project template is a presets file containing different preset views, the basic family library, materials, hatch patterns, line weights, and other objects. Usually, every design company has its own project templates, taking into account the company's individual drawing requirements. Such customized templates can be selected by clicking Browse. The drop-down menu will show a list of Revit's basic templates, which are pre-installed. Let's select the metric architectural template and press OK. The project file interface is very similar to the family editor. However, its ribbon displays a completely different set of tools. The set of tabs is different too. Moreover, by default, the Properties panel displays the properties of the active view. In this case, it is the floor plan level 1, where level 1 is just the name of the floor plan. Revit allows opening several files in the same session. In this case, a project file and a family file are opened, and we can freely switch between these two views. These symbols in the model space are elevation marks. We can see that 4 elevations have been created in this project. Normally, in order to load a family into a project, it is necessary to switch to Insert tab and select Load Family command. Then, it is necessary to select a family file from a folder. However, if the family is already opened in Revit, we can just switch to it and use one of the commands Load into Project or Load into Project and Close. If you choose the second command, the file will be closed and loaded into the project simultaneously. If you choose the first one, the family file won't be closed. Let's go for this particular option, Load into Project. If multiple projects are opened within the same session, Revit will suggest choosing one or several of them to load in the family in. In our case, the family will be loaded into the only open project. Once it has been loaded, Revit will suggest placing several family instances in the model space. Let's do it. To complete this task, I press Escape twice. If we want to add more instances, we have to activate a special command. Most of the tools designed to place families instances can be found on the Architecture, Structure, and Systems tabs. For example, the Wall tool allows placing instances of the wall families, the Door tool, instances of the door families. All in all, ducts, pipes, plumbing fixtures, as well as walls, doors, windows, columns, and other objects are Revit family categories. Each and every family belongs to a certain category. The list of categories is fixed. Users cannot create their own categories and cannot delete existing ones. The cube belongs to the generic model category. We can see it on the Properties panel. Default category are assigned to the family when a family template is selected. The metric generic model template that we used to design the cube defines the generic models category by default. In the Family editor, the category is also displayed on the Properties panel. It's stated that our family belongs to the generic models category. Nevertheless, once we have selected a template, we can change the category. It is available in the Family Category and Parameters menu. If I open it, I will see all the available categories. At any moment, I can categorize the cube as a window, or a door, or a furniture, or something else. But no such changes will affect the project as long as I don't load a new version of the family there. In other words, the family which is currently loaded to the project doesn't depend on the family file. We can even delete the family file. It will not affect the project in any way. We can find any family loaded into the project in the Families drop-down menu of the project browser. This menu is also subdivided into categories and contains only those categories that include at least one family loaded into the project. Our cube is included in generic models. If we unfold this menu in full, we will see the type. We will discuss the notion of types later. To spot a number of options, including Create Instances, right-click on Type. By using this option, we can create new cubes. As I already mentioned, the ribbon has special tools to place family instances of different categories. However, there is no dedicated button for generic models. The categories that do not have a dedicated button are called by clicking Component. This tool can be found on the Architecture tab, as well as on the Structure tab and Systems tab. By choosing this option, we can place cube instances again. In this case, the cube is offered immediately as the most recently placed family, but we can select other families too for creating instances. To select families, we use the Properties panel. In this drop-down menu, we can see many other families. I'll press Escape twice to exit cube placement. Let's select one of the cubes we placed. Let's have a look at the Properties panel. Here we can see the height, length, and width parameters that were previously set up in the Family editor. Besides, we see many other parameters that we have never created on ourselves. Let's try to find out where they came from.